Hi everyone, back today with another layout. This time I'm using the All Is Calm Specialty Designer Series paper. And I just grabbed out 4 sheets from this pack, just having a play with them. So this is a specialty paper set and it's got some really nice embossed paper, but I didn't use it with this layout. I pulled out 2 of the sheets here that I thought would go well with my photo. And I just bought the circle framelits. I got them on the weekly deals the other week. It's been on my wish list for a while. I have a lot of circle punches, so it's kind of always been do I buy them, do I not? Because I've got a lot of circles already. But I have to say, I bought them and I love them. I didn't realise you get so many in the pack. I have the ovals, and you don't get as many ovals in the pack as you do as the circles. So I was pleasantly surprised and quite happy I got that on the weekly deals. Okay, so this photo that I've got from last Christmas, it's a bit of a funny one of my husband just being silly. So I decided to do a little bit of a sort of whimsical page with it. So I decided to cut out a whole bunch of circles as my photo mat. So here you can see I just picked 3 different size circles and just decided to cut out a whole bunch of them. So I cut that blue piece of paper in half, so it would go through the big shot, and just got as many circles out of it as I could. And I thought I can always come back and cut out some more if I want some more, but it turned out to be the exact amount that I needed. So I love it when things happen like that. So I decided to use this green paper as my background because it's got little trees all over it. And in my photo, my husband's being stupid wearing some silly Christmas tree glasses. So I thought that would go well. So in hindsight, I think I would have been better off with just a white background with these circles. The circles would have stood out a lot more. But I am happy with how the layout turned out. Just, hindsight's one of those funny things. So I think I might do this layout again with this circle sort of background approach. I'll do that again with something different, and I might use a white background with some bright paper and see how different it turns out. Anyway, so I randomly put those circles all over the back there and just worked out how my photo would sit on them. So I realised that they needed to be, the circles needed to stand out a little bit, so I was going to ink the edges. So I was just looking up the book there of what the blue was in this pack, because I couldn't remember what it was. So it's Lost Lagoon. So I grabbed that out and just inked up around the edges of each of these circles. So what I'm going to do after this is I'm actually going to take it over to my sewing machine and sew around each of these circles. So I already knew before I started that that's what I wanted to do, because I don't know, I've seen that around on YouTube land quite a lot lately, and I really love the effect. So I thought I'm going to do it on these circles. So it's really hard to sew circles though, but it's whimsical, so I didn't mind that they weren't perfect. So that's okay. It just took a little while. Okay, so here you can see I'm just using one of the sponges. So I just grabbed those sponges. They come in a pack of 3, and then I cut them all into wedges. So you end up with this ginormous amount of sponges to use, and I just basically ink it up and run around the edge, and it just gives you a nice little edging there. So you can see my sewing there that I did. I just a little bit of sewing right around the edge as well, and I did a straight stitch, and then just once on each side for about 1 or 2 inches I just did a zigzag just to give it a little bit of something instead of just straight around the edges. And then I just, around each of the circles, I just propped them up a little bit. So now you can see that those circles do stand out more than when they were just straight punched out onto that paper. So in real life, it actually stands out even more. On the camera, it sort of blends in a bit too much. So, but anyway, so that's what I did. What am I doing? Oh, I sanded the edges of my photo, which I always do. And decided to mat it. This is the other side of the blue paper that I cut the circles out of, which is really pretty, but it's kind of a snowy effect. And we don't have snow in Brisbane, so I probably won't use that side of it. So it was just a nice lighter blue pattern paper there to map my photo with. And then I got out this spotty paper, which is really pretty. Matches the spots, whimsical spots of my on my layout, even though you can't see much of it because it's just a mat that I've used underneath. And I've used the spiral punch down the side to just give it a little bit of texture. So I really love this punch because I've got a little boy, so when I'm doing photos of my boy or of my husband, it's a nice punch without being girly. So, which is hard to find because anything pretty and doily and lacy, although I do use that on my boy layouts, but it gets a bit much sometimes. So this one's one of those really cute punches that can give you a nice texture on the page without being overpowering. So I just laid that up. I thought maybe I'd do a heap more layers, but then I thought that would take away the circles, so I didn't want to layer it up too much more. But because I had raised up the edges of my circles, I knew my photo would have to be popped up on some dimensionals. So I put them on the back there, but I haven't stuck it down yet because I haven't quite worked out what I wanted to do around my photo for embellishments. So I just grabbed a Whisper White punch out of the tree punch, because I thought because he's wearing the tree glasses, I might put some trees on this layer. So I had no idea what I wanted to do yet. I just punched out the shape to see where it would go. So I didn't know if I wanted to punch it out of some paper, some cardstock, stamp it, or what. I didn't know yet. So I was just playing around with where I wanted it to go. And I thought it needed something up on the top left of that page. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Or where my title was going to go. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted my title to be out of. And I decided there was a little bit of red in the photos, and being a Christmas layout, I wanted to put a little bit of red. So I thought I'm going to use my red in the title. So I went and got my little letters framelits and cut out the word Christmas in real red. And I knew I had the real red letter stickers from the seasonal Project Life accessory pack, and I was going to mix up the fonts. So that's the great thing about Stampin' Up, is I know that the real red cardstock is going to match my real red letters. So it matched perfectly. So I was going to call this Crazy Christmas Hijinks. So I put the Christmas in the large letters, and then I used Crazy and Hijinks with my little letter stickers, and I ran those around the circles up on the top left, which I was really happy with because I thought it needed a bit of volume up there. Just the way that the my husband is in the photo to the circles that I've got. I was just really happy with that up there. So I got that in place, and then I still hadn't worked out what I wanted to do as my embellishments. So I thought it needed a little bit of red now down under the photo and down towards the bottom right. So I grabbed out some washi tape. So I grabbed out a couple from the All Is Calm washi tape, and then I grabbed out the red one from. It's a good question where the red one's from. I think it's from the other Christmas set. No, it's not. I don't know where the other red one's from. I don't know where I got it from. That's a good question. I'm just looking at my book now. I'm not sure. It's one of the sets, and it's like a red gritty type of washi tape. So I just put that underneath the photo. So it's not a real strong red, but it just picked up that red down the bottom there. So, and I also put a date down here too. So I just found out it's the Beach House washi set. So there's a real red. It's like a diamond grid sort of shape. Anyway, so I laid a few of those up underneath. So as you can see, I put 2013 using the same letter stickers in that bottom right as well. So now I was happy with the red on the layout, that it seemed symmetrical. I don't know if that's the word I really mean, but enough over the page that I wasn't only looking at the title because that's the only thing in red. So I decided on having a tree on each side, and I thought I'm going to stamp it up, and why not just use the Whisper White cutouts that I already had. So normally I stamp and then punch out, but I already had them punched out. So using the photopolymer stamps, it's so much easier to see where you're stamping that I just stamped them up. Waste not, want not. So I stamped them up, and I punched out a whole bunch of stars using the little star punch from the Itty Bitty Accents punch pack with the gold foil, because the glasses that he's wearing in the photo have they're a green tree with a little gold star at the top of them. So once again, got my inspiration from my photo. So I punched out a whole bunch of them, and I'm going to put one at the top of each tree, and then also just put some around as my little embellishments. So I knew that I wanted some journaling on this page, so I had it in the back of my mind that I was going to put it down the bottom there. That's why I haven't got anything down under my photo. So I decided to do some strip journaling down there. I just thought if I put a big piece of paper down there with my journaling on it, it would be a bit too heavy down there. So always go back to my backup plan of the strip journaling. So just placing a few of these stars around. I haven't stuck the one down the bottom yet because I knew I'd do it around my journaling. So here we go. I just ran some Whisper White cardstock through my printer, and I got a new printer just a couple of months ago. Nice new LaserJet, which I absolutely love. It's working well. The only thing is it really bends the paper and cardstock. So when it's paper, it's not too bad. It doesn't crease it. It's so hot in there, obviously, and it rolls it through that you get a big bend in it. But when it's the cardstock, it keeps that bend in there really bad. So it's not too bad. Once you stick things down, it gets flat. But it's hard to cut these little strips out because the cardstock was all warped. Anyway, so I just cut them down, and I inked them up with some of that Lost Lagoon ink again, and stuck those down, and decided I needed a couple of more stars just to stick down there, and then I was finished. So I really love the layout, how it turned out. It kind of is a bit too busy, I think, with the background. I'm okay with that because this layout is about something quite whimsical and silly, so that's okay with me. But yeah, I think in future it was a bit too much having all the circles and whimsy on a really strong pattern background as well. So, but anyway, I really love how it turned out. Okay, so you can check out all the details of this layout at my blog, scrapbookronnie.com, and I'll have a post up shortly with this layout with all the products that I've used, in case you are wanting to purchase any of those. And you can always check out all my stuff at my blog, and I'll be back later in the week with some more craziness. No. With more cards, more layouts, my crazy world. Okay, so thanks for stopping by, and I'll check you out next time.